Hey guys, Ryan here, and I am back with another episode of Running with the Pack, and I just got done watching the Talladega Geico 500 here. And man, it was definitely an exciting finish, exciting last 1,500 yards or so of the race. Yeah, lots to talk about. Dale Jr. joining the Fox booth for a one-off event, and a whole lot more to talk about, but yeah, let's dig right in. So I think, as most good races should be, the most entertaining part was the checkered flag. That final 15, 1,500 feet or so, um, you had a lot of action happening. You had Kyle Larson drifting up the track trying to block a run from Kurt Busch. Then Eric Jones goes up to the top to try and block him. Chastain sticks to the bottom and ends up actually taking the win. Yeah, literally to be going on to the winner, but yeah, the finish was spectacular. I mean, you had like two drivers both attempting a block on another driver, and ultimately they ended up drifting back in terms of the running order just a little bit. Eric Jones ended up stuck in the middle, three wide, and drifting back. Luckily, it was only that last few feet. But yeah, it was just an entertaining finish, which was really built up by the long period of waiting for a lot of fans in terms of waiting for when would the big one happen? Would there be a big one? Because we're so used to with Talladega, those big 15, 20 car wrecks. And really, I mean, we didn't have one of those. We didn't even have a yellow flag in the final 63 laps of the race. We went 63 laps to the checkers uninterrupted by yellow flags, which I would say is not bad. I mean, it gave us a good build up, a green flag pit cycle, and the entire pack got grouped back together and made the run for the checkers. Denny Hamlin ran out of fuel late. That was another thing that happened. Yeah, so. Oh, man. So, yeah, as I said, Ross Chastain picking up the win. Really just, honestly, for an aggressive driver, the fact that he was able to show that he can win and he can see where to win by not making a move was something that I found absolutely fantastic. That he was actually able to pull off a win by not making the aggressive move or not paying someone back like he did at Circuit of the Americas. Now, sure, Circuit of the Americas, that was fun as well, but this one he made it happen by not making a move, and even he said it himself. He didn't have to do anything. Similarly, the guy right on his rear bumper, Austin Dillon, also didn't have to do anything to pick up a great point stay. Let me see if they updated points yet. Does not appear. Check. Yeah, they have updated points. So, Chastain lost a spot in points despite winning the race. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Austin Dillon safely inside the playoffs. Yeah, this is the first time I've actually looked at the points, but because they weren't updated the last time I had checked. So yeah, the Austin Dillon though coming away with a great point stay by finishing second. Kyle Busch coming from almost out of nowhere. I mean, he was 9th, 10th, 11th with one or two laps to go, and he ends up third. Especially for a driver that has historically not been very good, or at least not very successful at the super speedways, in particularly Talladega, his last win being 08. So good to see that for Kyle Busch. And speaking of not having had a whole lot of success on super speedways, Kyle Larson manages to pull off a top 5 at Talladega and having all four fenders still on the car for the most part. So Kyle Larson comes across fourth. Yeah, honestly, a great statement there for him to kind of show that he can have some good luck on the super speedways. We haven't really seen much of that from him He tends to be right in the middle of the accident when it happens, not necessarily doing anything wrong himself, but just being in the middle of it. Truex, another driver who's yet to win a super speedway race of any kind, and yeah, he ends up with a top five. Eric Jones, after trying to make that block, ends up finishing going from first to sixth in the final 100 feet or so. Um, Other notables, you have Chase Elliott inside the top 10, maintaining the points lead. Michael McDowell with another top 10 finish at these super speedways. Um, I will say, massively biased, but he is proving that he is a very serviceable super speedway driver at the very least. Bowman had a pretty decent points day. Harvick, Blaney, yeah, most of the Fords, it seemed like they were either they didn't have much of a plan worked out together, because they didn't seem to work well together, it seemed like today. Now, some of that could be due to the fact that of the cars that DNF'd, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the DNFs of this race were Fords, and a lot of those coming in the first and second stages. Now, even prior to those wrecks, they weren't exactly running at full pace, but certainly did not help their prospects any, the fact that they were losing teammates. But yeah, they were just not working overly well together. But Brad Keselowski lost Chris Buescher early on in the first kind of major wreck when Daniel Hemrick lost his engine. Briscoe as well in the middle of that one. That's a Ford. That's an SHR Ford. So SHR lost a teammate there. I think Harrison Burton was also caught up in that wreck. That's another one of those Penske Fords. So basically, each of the major Ford teams lost a player in that same wreck. So yeah, it was a pretty rough day to be a Ford team. And early on, it looked like it was going to be a hard day for an RCR or an ECR Chevy, because we had both Tyler Reddick and Daniel Hemrick with engine problems early on. Luckily, I believe those were the only engine related issues on the Chevy side of things. Custer did have an engine problem late, but yeah, those were the only Chevys with engine problems. So yeah, hopefully they fix whatever it is with those two cars specifically, or those teams. But yeah, again, fairly big attrition. Let's see, other people in the top 15. LaJoy having another solid day. Just kind of cementing the fact that he belongs in that car. Landon Castle and Noah Gragson from the Xfinity race yesterday to today, both putting on pretty decent performances in one-off appearances. So, yeah, I think that's most of the notable finishers from this race. So, yeah, kind of another thing I didn't really get to talk about much last week, because I didn't get to see the TV broadcast until late in the week, and I've been working on putting together some footage from my Bristol dirt trip for other projects. But the pre-race show with with the actual like live race day stage with a sea of fans behind them. I mean, it just looks fantastic and brings energy to the track. I They had it at Bristol. They had it at Talladega. I'm hoping that that's something that will be here to stay. Really kind of brings some more energy. Helps make the fans at the track feel like they're a part of the pre-race show. Helps show off the many fans that maybe don't fill the entire grandstands at some of the tracks anymore, but still can make a sea appear of people for pre-race. But yeah, so for a Talladega race, it was a fantastic race, despite the lack of the lack of big ones. I mean, I think we had what, 4 yellows in the second stage, and that was about it. So yeah, it was a very clean race, all things considered. So yeah, uh, pretty much. One other thing I wanted to talk about, Dale Jr. in the Fox booth. Um, he was fantastic, and I credit a lot of the NBC booth to how Dale Jr. is able to make connections work, especially at these super speedway races. Like, I mean, he is probably the most knowledgeable person alive to tell you about the draft at a at Daytona or Talladega. So the fact that we got to have that we're going to have him for all the remaining super speedways, because after this one, I believe Atlanta's second date, Daytona's second date, and the second Talladega race, I think, are all NBC races, so he'll be there for those. So that's something I really like. Um, and then the way he plays off of other broadcasters in the booth, he played well with Mike. He and Mike Joy had a pretty good back and forth going over the history of Talladega today while we were going through green flag cycles. You had and then on the NBC side of things, the way he works with his former crew chief, Steve Letarte in the NBC booth. I mean, really feels like Dale Jr. elevates whatever booth he is in. Kind of unfortunate that he is probably the best overall analyst that we have in either booth, and we can't have him in both every week. So hopefully, some of the guys like Clint Boyer or Jeff Burton can learn from Dale Jr. and hopefully start carrying some of that load, some of that weight themselves. But I'm not overly hopeful. So for the moment, we got Dale Jr. and yeah, we will see where broadcasting goes from here. As someone who likes broadcasting quite a bit, I love it when a broadcast is done well, and today's race, really kept me engaged from lap 1 to lap 188. And I mean, especially for a race where you weren't having it abbreviated by, you did have a lot of commercial breaks, but that's par for the course. But even in and around those, they were able to bring good energy throughout, and it was probably also helped by the fact that this race only went for about 3.5 hours. So, for a 500-mile Talladega race, I'd say it went very well, and I'm expecting a pretty good TV rating. So, I guess we will see what that TV rating is later this week. But yeah, looking forward to heading back to Dover. Yeah, it's gonna be back to some more traditional intermediate style racing. So I guess we'll see who's gonna rise at those tracks. But yeah, all in all, though, Talladega, fantastic race from obviously from watching on the couch. I can't say from a person that was there because unfortunately I have still never gotten to go to Daytona or Talladega. But yep, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, leave a like on the video. I'd love to hear what you guys thought of this race down below in the comment section. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next video, live stream, or whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your day. Have a great day, everybody, and goodbye!